sweater. Why am I having such a hard time with that word? I keep thinking I'm saying it wrong. This sweater. Hi guys, welcome here. If you're new here, my name's Bethany. I'm the girl behind Woolyknits. Happy first week of May. Can you believe that we've gotten here? Because I personally can't. I can't believe that the last 2 months have flown by like they have. It feels like yesterday that I was filming and editing that first kickoff video for the knit along. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I hosted a knit along starting on March 3rd, and it has recently ended on May 3rd. It was the well-loved Woolyknits knit along, and this was in partnership with Woolyknit. I was really excited when they reached out to me and proposed the idea because honestly, it was not something that I ever thought about doing, but it was definitely something that piqued my interest because when they suggested it, I was all about it and I wanted to give it a go. So it was my first time hosting a knit along, and I think it was pretty successful. Maybe I didn't check in as much as I should have, but I was so busy knitting this up, making sure that I would meet the deadline, and I did, thank goodness. As you can see, I'm wearing something new, something that you haven't seen before, so I feel like I need to give it the attention it deserves. Let me get up on my knees so you can see as much as possible. Hey, that doesn't look so bad. This is my entry to the well-loved Woolyknits knit along, which was the Farnam sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl. Sophie, if you follow her on Instagram, I'm sure you do. She designed this wonderful sweater, and when she first kind of shared sneak peeks of the sweater and like the concept behind the sweater, I was very interested, and I knew it was definitely something that I wanted to knit up, which fit along the theme because the theme of the knit along was well-loved woolly knits, which is basically knitting a project that you know would become something that you would really love and grab for all the time in your wardrobe. And then on top of that, it needed to be cast on using wool. Really, really lovely knit. I really love the pattern. It was a lot of fun to knit. It's a big sweater though. Well, at least how I decided that I wanted my finished piece to be. I decided to knit the one that I knew would give me a lot of ease for this nice oversized fit. This is just such a nice sized garment, I think. I really wanted a sweater that was going to be nice and slouchy, but have a little bit of, I don't know, a little more polished look. And I feel like the stripes definitely give it that, especially in black and white. Personally, for me, I thought that that was really sophisticated. And in the Woolyknit Merino, that's what I knitted up with, which was kindly sponsored for the knit along. So I made this sweater with the carbon black and the cream merino cones. As you can see, I've used quite a bit, especially the black because obviously it was my main color. These were 500 gram cones when they were sent over to me. And as you can see, they go a really long way because I actually, to get gauge or close to it, I decided to hold my wool double instead of pairing it with a mohair, which is what is recommended in the pattern. So normally you would knit with one strand of fingering and one mohair. I decided just to skip mohair this time around. I just wanted a sweater that I could feel really comfortable holding my son with, not worry about fibers shedding. And I'm actually really happy with the fabric that this pairing has made. Like honestly, the merino feels really nice. It's still got a little bit of a more rustic feel to it. It's definitely not the softest merino I've touched. But it does, it's just a nice wool sweater. It's got a little bit of, yeah, it's not itchy though. That's not what I want to say. It just doesn't, it's not like a mohair sweater. I don't really know how else to describe that. Yeah, so lately I've just been thinking that I want to kind of move away from pairing mohair with wool for any like everyday type sweaters that I would make. I think outerwear like cardigans and things that I can easily take off and layer with I will be okay with using mohair. I mean, don't quote me on that, but this is just kind of where my head's at right now for this phase of my life. I think in order to maintain the sweater easily for my lifestyle, non-mohair sweaters will work out. And I actually think that this was a very good first experiment. I do think that now, after blocking, this could really do with a little bit of a comb. I need to find my little sweater comb to depill, because that will be the one downside, I think, of not knitting with mohair, is that the fabric is just not going to be as durable as it would have with mohair. My gauge was not the same as what was called for in the pattern, so I did a lot of thinking. I honestly just knit the body to pattern because I knew that it was going to be a little bit on the larger side, or anyway, I wanted that oversized fit. And since my swatch was a little bit on the larger side, I didn't really care. There was just a little extra fabric, honestly. It wasn't going to be that big of a deal. Where it did cause a little bit of a headache was with the collar and the sleeves. I did not follow the pattern at all, actually. Well, no, I did. No, actually I didn't. So with the sleeves, I did my own decrease rate because my numbers were off. First of all, I picked up way less stitches than what was called for in the pattern, like a lot. And then, yeah, I just did a decrease rate that worked well for me and what I wanted for my final sleeve. And I think it's safe to say that my sleeves are a little bit tighter than what the actual pattern looks like, or at least comparing to other samples that I've seen. These definitely look a little bit more on the slim side, and I actually really like that. I prefer it, definitely. So it all worked out for me in the end. Where it got a little, I was like kind of crossing my fingers, was with the collar opening. And again, I picked up way less stitches, but I actually prefer it. It does seem a little bit more on the slim side than some of the other samples that I've seen. But again, I can get my head through it. Maybe there's just a little bit of a struggle, but it's not a big deal. And I think it looks really nice. The pattern, like I said, was really easy to follow. And while I didn't follow all of the instructions, that's just how I roll sometimes. It was not difficult to modify in that way. And if everything would have worked out math-wise, I definitely would have followed this to pattern. So I definitely encourage you to check out the sweater if this is something that you would be interested in, because I definitely think this is going to be a well-loved piece in my closet. And I'm really, really hoping that it doesn't just turn super hot overnight here, because we're still in great sweater weather. We're in great sweater weather. What? Oh my God. We're in great sweater weather right now. And I'm going to be able to get some use out of this, which is such a relief, because I was worried there for a little while. I was worried that I wasn't going to finish it. So honestly, I'm just happy that I did finish it, because that would have been really embarrassing if the person that hosted the KAL didn't finish it. You know, like maybe would it have been embarrassing? I don't know. But anyway, back to the yarn though. I was given these as a gift for the knit along. But even still, regardless, I think my review would still be very positive. There are a couple of things about it though. But first, I do want to mention just how far the yarn really goes. As you can see, I have plenty left over, and this is quite a large sweater. Sweater. Oh my gosh. For reference, this is a 500 gram cone, so this is what they originally looked like. Obviously, I didn't use as much of the white because I just used it as a contrasting color for the stripes. Didn't really use it all that much. But the black, I got a lot of value out of that. And then some. I think, honestly, this would be good enough for a hat and then some, because I really think that this is I should have weighed it before and after. But I think it will go into another project, at least a hat. I'm thinking that could definitely be something. Or a contrasting color in some way. Maybe I want to start doing some color work. That would be really nice. I do have a negative thing about this, and I don't know if you can really tell on camera. I kind of hope not. I hope it's really just me because I'm the one that made it and I know what the colors looked like originally, but knitting with black, I think that's the problem. Knitting with black, and maybe also this wool might not be treated in a way that another commercial yarn might be treated. I'm not really sure about that, but black bleeds. There was so much color transfer when I blocked this sweater. Sweater. Why am I having such a hard time with that word? I keep thinking I'm saying it wrong. This sweater, I had so much color transfer. There was so much black dye in my sink. I was worried actually that the sink was going to turn black. Luckily it didn't. But the stripes have turned a little bit gray. And I'm hoping that maybe it's just a matter of brushing it out and maybe, exposing some of the underside of the yarn. It could go for a nice brushing. I think this sweater would really benefit from a brush, and maybe that might help it out in some way. I don't really know why I think that would happen. But yeah, it's just ever so slightly, the white is a little bit dull. And I don't know, maybe I can compare the two. Can you tell? Just tell me that you can't. So it'll make me feel better. Yeah, that was a little disappointing because actually that was my fault as well. It is something important to note with all of the bold colors, I think, if you're knitting with white at any time, especially if you were knitting with red too. I just think that happens with all kinds of yarn, that there is color transfer. For me, I just didn't think about it. I really should have. I don't know. Because when I made my swatch, I noticed there was a little color transfer, but in the end, it didn't really bleed into the white all that much. And I think it was mainly because I didn't leave it for so long. My mistake was that I left this sweater in the sink with hot water. I shouldn't have put it in such hot water, but I normally do that with all of my knits. So I really just wasn't thinking. I was just doing routine. And I left it. I actually forgot that I had it in the sink. So normally I don't leave it for so long. I actually just let it go for probably like 2-3 hours. So that was my mistake. Mom things. I got sidetracked. I did it and then, yeah, I just forgot about it. Anyway, what's done is done. I can't really do anything about it. I can just hope that nobody notices. And honestly, it's fine. It doesn't need to be stark white anyway. I think you get the feeling that I was going for. My Parisian coffee shop girl vibes. I think they're really there. So I'm really happy with this sweater. Overall, I don't think that the small little drama after blocking is really all that much that big of a deal, but I think it is something for you to consider if you're interested in working with woolly knit cones, or if you haven't yet blocked a sweater similar to this with, dark yarn. That's, I guess, worthwhile for knitting a swatch and checking it out. Although I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. When I made my swatch, I was like, oh yeah, the color didn't transfer, but I didn't really think through the different elements that might contribute to more color transfer when the whole thing was knit up. So, oh well. But I'm very happy with the result of my very first knit along too. I'm so thankful that you guys decided to join. I was over on the hashtag and I saw so many really great entries, and it was just really great to see you all participating and getting excited about the theme and woolly knit, and yeah, just working on projects, the same type of project together was really nice. So that leads me into congratulate the winner of the well-loved Woolly Knits knit along. So if you did participate, you know that Woolly Knit kindly sponsored this knit along, and they are giving away 75 pounds worth of wool from their shop to one very lucky person, and that person's name is now on the screen. I'm recording this in full transparency a couple of days before May 3rd because I just want to be organized and make sure that I put this video up at least around that date. So I don't know who the winner is yet, but now Editing Bethany does know the winner and she has put that on the screen. So congratulations to you. I've already contacted you on Instagram, and if anyone else gets some sort of message about that, it's not me. I mean, unless you're this person, it was not me. And don't fall for phishing scams and people trying to impersonate this account. I will not contact you on YouTube. This was an Instagram only giveaway. So thank you guys so much for participating. And that leads me into what I want to do next. I just want to look at the hashtag for a little bit and share with you some of the projects that I've seen. For the last few moments of this video, I want to highlight your projects and just say a huge thank you again for participating in this knit along. It's obviously not a knit along unless people come together to knit, so you all are the reason it was such a success. I saw so many beautiful projects and it was really cool to see how everyone interpreted the well-loved Woolyknits theme and came away with a brand new knit that they'd really, treasure and get a lot of use out of. It was really cool. Some projects were really basic staples and others were really intricate, and I was really blown away. So thank you again. I would really love to do something like this again in the future. So I hope you guys are up for it and keep your eyes peeled. Maybe we'll do something. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you guys here and keep these projects going. Thank you for liking this video and subscribing to join this great knitting community here on YouTube. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.